Up to now, the laboratory has had sufficient time to compile information and revise weapon design before a field test of a weapon. As of now, the situation has changed. We must take risks. Calculated risks, it is true, but risks nevertheless. According to the presidential directive, we must ascertain if a hydrogen bomb is feasible and do this in the highest possible speed. Here is what I think we must do. We must set up a special staff under Dr. Marshall Holloway, reporting directly to my office. He will receive from the theoretical division the theoretical designs of such a system, have them fabricated and shipped to NOECOC. There, they'll be taken by Dr. Graves and J Division and testing. It must be recognized that we're taking great chances, a great gamble. But a gamble, while there's a possibility of failure, nevertheless there is a possibility of great gains. NOECOC will become our theoretical laboratory rather than a proving ground.
And that's the way it is today. We're taking a gamble. I see that now. But then the uneasy state of the world puts everything on a gambling basis, I guess. Yes, but not as much of a gamble as you might think. Take that man over there. He and his company have put a great deal of thought into the engineering and design of Mike. Well, see you later.
So long, Doctor, and thanks a lot. Well, so far, we've pieced together quite a bit of this operation. I don't believe you've ever had a good look at our key test islands.
The test islands for Mike are located at the top, or the northern sector, of Eniwetok Atoll, some 25 miles from Perry and Eniwetok, the two base islands of this atoll proving grounds. There are three main islands making up the test site. These are Alujalab, Teeter, and Bogan. In the early months, Alujalab was just another small, naked island of the atoll. But by midsummer, it began to look like the thing it was selected for, a shot island. Actually, the cab, so called because it houses the weapon, is not a cab at all, but a building set flush to the ground. It has all the earmarks of a common workshed, but in reality is a laboratory building set on a Pacific atoll. This, as you have probably gathered, is joint operation. All atomic test operations in the Pacific so far have been run under a joint task force kind of setup. Operation Ivy is using the same organizational structure as Greenhouse. 4 task groups: Scientific, Army, Navy, and Air Force. Members of these groups are here now, sifting and coordinating the many details of this joint operation and passing key information topsides to the command level. The Army is...
Runway 2, working cottage radar contact Skunk.
The Army is the executive agent on this operation, just as the Air Force was on Greenhouse and the Navy on Crossroads before that. At this point in our story, it's necessary to understand the effort behind the collecting of measurement data. For what good is a test unless we can learn, can profit from the experience? Highly specialized, sometimes costly instruments help scientists bring home this vital data. An outstanding example of such specialization is the use of a helium atmosphere box by the Naval Research Laboratory. The plywood tube, looking like a train of boxcars, runs from the shot island across the causeways to a detection station on Bogan, a distance of nearly 2 miles. In addition to the diagnostic kind of measurement, many studies are being run on the effects expected from a high-order detonation. These projects are being conducted jointly by the AEC and the Department of Defense. As always, there are many questions to be answered. Classical, routine questions, and special, pertinent questions pertaining to the hydrogen device, Mike. The story of heat or thermal radiation needs continued study. The ever-interesting history of neutrons will be recorded. What amounts of external neutrons are present? And what is their energy distribution? Because of the expected size of the shot, the fallout problem is being extensively analyzed.
H-5 minutes. The shock wave will not arrive for several minutes after 0 time. Keep firm footing until after the wave passes.
All right.
latest obtained upwind sounding from Henry Cobb
You've been here before, flag block.
shows distinctly that in
That's
lower
General
elevation
Clarkson,
on
the task force commander, and General Wolf, chief of staff. The scientific deputy, Dr. Graves, you've already met.
Followed by again west.
Captain Paul is deputy for naval operations,
Dominating to all levels.
and General Wise, deputy for the Air Force. As you've gathered, a weather briefing is taking place. I should say another weather briefing. You've probably heard many times before how important the weather picture is in an atomic test operation. Weather can make or break a test shot. That's why you want to know up to the last moment just how you stand with the elements.
Feel that this is a valid forecast.
The problem this time is especially acute because this entire area of the Pacific is subject to radiological fallout. And this area is inhabited by some 20,000 people, plus, of course, the ships of this task force. That's why the RAD-SAFE officer works hand in glove with the weather officer. Oh, by the way, to help you understand this problem, these weathermen are covering an area larger than the United States, with 10 weather aircraft and 11 fixed weather stations. To put it mildly, that's quite a territory to cover. Let's listen in, shall we?
Any chance of showers?
Not within the next 48 hours over the entire Marshalls.
How about cloud cover?
A few cumulus move in, but if we go off on schedule, nothing to bother the operation.
Are you satisfied from a radiological standpoint, Commander Maynard?
Yes, sir. The situation is ideal since the entire fallout pattern is to the north of the inhabited islands.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The time is now 8-2 minutes.
Okay, I'll check the staff.
-2 minutes.
Miser. You have a grandstand seat here to one of the most momentous events in the history of science. In less than a minute, you will see the most powerful explosion ever witnessed by human eyes. The blast will come out of the horizon just about there. And this is the significance of the moment. This is the first full-scale test of a hydrogen device. If the reaction goes, we're in the thermonuclear era. For the sake of all of us, and for the sake of our country, I know that you join me in wishing this expedition well.
It is now 30 seconds to 0 time. Put on goggles or turn away. Do not remove goggles or face burst until 10 seconds after the first light.